At St Francis, we have decided to use Google Classrooms to provide our remote education provision. During the autumn term of 2020, we initiated the process with Link to ICT to set up our Google domain. This would then use our MIS system to transfer the relevant data over to our Google domain safely and set up a user login for all pupils and staff. It also established the initial 8 classrooms for us. During the autumn term, we held a series of in-house training sessions with staff to introduce them to the new platform and to give them time to familiarise themselves with how it all works. Just before the October half term, we informed all parents and carers of our intention to use Google Classrooms in the event of a bubble or school closure, and shared with them their child's login details. We encouraged all families to log in over the October half term with their child or children to show them the system. After half term, we started to use the system with Key Stage 2 children in our computing lessons to give the children exposure to it and the different features that they could use within it. We gave them practice assignments to complete and turn in, so that should they need to use it properly, they had some experience. Our intention was to complete the same process with Key Stage 1 children in the spring term. However, in January 2021, the wider closing of schools was announced and we had to initiate our full remote learning provision across the whole school. As it stands, our remote learning offer is as follows. 1 collective worship session per day, which is either a video or a PowerPoint presentation that the children can watch and follow along with. There is also then a reflective task for the children to complete based on what the session has been about. On a Monday, this is Mrs. Pickup explaining and introducing the theme of the week and relating that to a Bible story. On Tuesday, it is a video from myself using Big Start assemblies which we use in school. On Wednesday, it's Reverend Gail of St Francis Church delivering her suitcase assembly. On Thursday, we use the Church of England's Faith at Home series. And on Friday, we have a different article of the week from the United Nations Conventions of the Rights of a Child under the Right to Respect in School Award. The children have 1 English session per day in line with the national curriculum. Videos and other resources are utilised to aid the children's understanding of the topic being taught, as well as setting an independent task for the children to complete following the teaching. The children have 1 session of maths per day, following the maths no problem scheme of work as if they were in school. These sessions feature a pre-recorded video from the class teacher in which they teach the skill for that day, as well as set the worksheets that they would like the children to complete in their workbooks. We have 1 wider curriculum session per day, following subjects such as history, geography, RE and science. Videos and other resources are utilised to aid children's understanding of the topic being taught, as well as setting an independent task for the children to complete following the teaching. There is 1 phonics or SPAG session per day. Key Stage 1 children will focus on phonics and then spelling, and Key Stage 2 children will focus on spelling and grammar. These sessions are delivered primarily through Bug Club, but there might also be other sessions where there are PowerPoints and videos. There is also then activities that consolidate the learning from that session. There is also 4 live sessions per week for each class, where the children at home meet their class teacher using Google Meet. These sessions may include reading a story, it might be whole class feedback on a specific assignment, or it might be a general discussion on well-being and remaining positive. These sessions are adaptable and will go with the need of the children. It also gives the children at home the opportunity to ask their teacher any questions about their work. In addition to all of this, there is also 1 PSHE session per week, for the children to access relating to the school's curriculum. There may also be a follow-up activity for the children to complete depending on the content. We also provide children with ideas for a PE session, utilising resources such as PE with Joe and the Kings Heath School Alliance and their challenge of the week. We also encourage actively for all families to complete their daily exercise. We also ask children to complete some reading each day, as well as some number bonds or times table practice using times table rock stars or numbots. Our staff are preparing and filming videos to enhance the children's education and experience in this strange time. Our collective worship sessions are interactive and personable as much as possible, asking the children thought-provoking questions and asking them to complete reflective tasks on what has been discussed. Our pre-recorded inputs for academic subjects are also as interactive as possible, giving children questions relating to their learning and asking them to pause videos and have a go before moving on. We are also utilising resources such as the Oak National Academy, which is government approved, and BBC Bitesize. We are also providing for our children with additional needs by holding daily interventions with as many children as possible, covering the fundamentals such as spelling, reading and maths. These sessions are delivered in small groups with a TA through by invitation only classrooms on Google. We are constantly keeping this provision under review and adapting as we need to. I'm now going to give you a tour of what Google Classrooms would look like for a child in our school, as well as a member of staff. When a child logs in, they will see this screen. They will see the classrooms that they are part of. I have created a model class for the purposes of this exercise. So as you can see, that's the title of the class. There's the teacher, here's the teacher's avatar, and then you can also see from a glance the work that they have due soon. So the child would need to click into that classroom. It will then take them to their class stream. Now on their class stream, they will see their assignments. They might also see announcements. So their teacher might have written something to do with something that they might want them to do that day, and that would also appear there. They've also got up here their Meet link. So if this is the link that they click on at the time of their live session, so say it was at 2:30, say 2:28, they would click on that link and it would take them to Google Meet, and which is where the teacher would be. They will not be able to start that Meet without the teacher having started it first. So if I attempted to click on that now, it would say I can't create a meeting for myself, because in this situation I am the child, and because of safeguarding, the child cannot start the Meet themselves. So there are several ways that the child can see that the work that they've been set to do. So you can see this upcoming down the side. So they could click either on the different things, or they could click on View All, and it's got a to do, and it tells them when, what's later, what's next week, etc., which one's no due date, etc. If they have multiple classes, they could click there and click on the relevant class. They could also go to classwork at the top. So they could go to classwork at the top, and it would then split all the work into different subjects, as the teacher has done, and I'll show you that in a second. So for this child here, for example, I've used Monday the 25th of January as an example. They would open that, click on View Assignment, and then they can read the blurb that's been given, and they can click on the relevant things. So here we've got a video from Mrs. Pickup, and here we've got the task sheet. So essentially you just click on it and it opens for you, and then you can see it. If they wanted to take a picture of their work, they would click Add, and then they've got different options. So they can create a Google Doc, they can create a slides, which is like PowerPoint, Sheets, which is like Excel drawings, which speaks for itself, or they can upload something that they've already done, or they can add a file from their own computer. When they've done that, they can click Mark as Done, and that will send it to the teacher. So if we went back to this and clicked on, say for example, the English for that day, and we clicked on View Assignments, you will see that we've got the blurb here. We've got an audio recording of a book here, which we could listen to, and then we've also got a chapter here, sorry. Then you will see up here the work that it wants them to complete. So here it says, when you're finished, I need you to open the Google Doc and complete the tasks which are focused on the feelings towards the characters. So the child would click on there, it would open in a new tab. They would then complete the work for this. So they might type in what did you feel about Grace at the beginning of the book? They might write, I feel that she was a nice character. This is really simple. When they're done and they've done the whole of the task, they click on this button up here which says Turn In. So they would click Turn In there. Again, it would open a new tab. Goes back to the assignments. It confirms that that's what they want to do, and they click Turn In. That then sends it to the teacher, and the teacher then knows that that child has completed that work. You can also see down here you've got the private comments. So they could write a comment to their teacher if they were struggling with a piece of work. So they could write, Hi, Mr. Pugh, I am struggling with question 2 on this work. Can you help? And they send that, and then that also goes straight to the teacher. You can also see that we've got due dates of 7:30 p.m. So our work is set from 7:30 in the morning, and there's a 12-hour window for the child to complete it and submit it. Although obviously we do still accept them after the 7:30. Okay, so if we went back to this, there is one more way in which they can see their work. So obviously you've got all of these different ideas down here. You can also see here that because we've now turned that piece of work in, that piece of work has now gone grey because they've done it. So you can see that the other ones that they haven't done yet are still blue because they're still to do. So the ones they have done go grey as long as they've turned them in. They can also click on this View Your Work button at the top. So if they view that, they can see all the work that has been assigned to them. So they can see the ones that are still assigned and the ones that are turned in. And they can see the deadlines for them, etc. And down the side you can see all assigned, returned and missing. Missing is where they haven't turned it in to their teacher. If they click on the waffle up here, they've got different things. So they've got their drive, which is like their cloud storage, classroom, which is what we're in at the moment, docs, sheets and slides, which are the main things that we might use in Google Classrooms. And then we've got the meet function over here, and there are several others. Jamboard, which is like an interactive whiteboard, podcast news, etc. All good. And we've told the children which ones of those to use. So that's what it would look like for a child. For a member of staff, they would have all of the classrooms that they are assigned to. So this is me that signed in, so I am in every classroom in school. And you can see I'm going to use the model class again up here. So I'm going to click in there, and there are slight differences in here, in that the stream looks pretty much the same as in what I've posted. So if I wanted to post something now to the class and said, hi, please remember to bring your true and false cards to our live meet at 2:30 p.m. today. And if I posted that then, that would go to everybody. And if I clicked back to here and refresh the stream, you would see that that message has now come up. Anyway, back to this here. So again, you can see which work is due. You've got an extra thing here, which is the class code, which we're not using very much because we will just add the children to whichever classroom they need to be in. But that is one way of adding people to a classroom. Now at the top, you can see that I've got the stream. I've got the classwork. I've got the people, so I can see who's in this class. And then I've got the grades. So I'm going to go back to this classwork. So you'll see that we've got a slightly different button for adults at the top. So in the child's version, they have view your work. We have create, because obviously the adults need to create the assignment. So they can create an assignment, a quiz, a question, a material, so like a document, or they can reuse a post that they've done before. So to create work, they would create an assignment. So say it was English, and then we'd create the title of it. So I always use the date. So Tuesday the 2nd of February 2021. I would then write a brief description of what I would like them to do. Today, I would like you to focus on your fronted adverbials. Fronted adverbials by working your way through the PowerPoints attached below and then completing the worksheets that I have attached for you. Just going to correct that spelling mistake. You can write as much detail or as little detail in there as you like. Then I've got the options to add. So I've got the options to add items from my Google Drive. So if I went to my Google Drive, I could find something that I've done. So if it was a video I'd created, I could click on that video, click insert, and it would appear there. I realise that's a maths video and this is in English, but it's an example. I could also do a link. So if I wanted to use, so for example, BBC Bite Size, and I would obviously go to primary and Key Stage 2. I could click on, sorry, this was an English one, wasn't it? I could click on English and I could scroll down and I could go to various different things. So say I was going to go to grammar and this one was about fronted adverbial. So let's see, oh there we go, what is a fronted adverbial? I could look at this, I've looked at this one before, and again there's a little video, there's a little quiz for them to do, and there's a little game for them to play here. So there's a bit of extra revision. I can add that link in there and it appears there for them. I could also add files from my computer. So if I browse, and it would take me to files from my computer, so I could find them from there in the different files on there, and they would upload to there. Or I can do a YouTube link direct, so I'll just go onto YouTube, find the video that I want and click it onto there. I can also create, so I can create a docs document, a slides document, a sheets document, a drawings or forms. So depending on what I wanted to do, as this is English, I might do docs. So, oh, hello, there we go, sorry. So it would open in a different window, and then I would start the documents. Into adverbials, and then obviously I could write in there whatever I wanted to do. I could set all the tasks up. I can then change the thing, and you can see that it's saving into model class. So this worksheet itself will save into model class, but if I just come out of that, it's there. It does say untitled, but it does eventually change it. Now here I've got different options. So students can view the file. So if I just want them to look at it, then I can click on that one. Students can edit, would mean that all the students in the class would edit the same document. Or I can do this one, which is obviously our most popular, which is make a copy for each student. So each pupil will have a copy of that Google Doc, so they write on their own. And then here is how we assign it. So we can, obviously there's only the one child in this classroom, but you could assign it to certain children. We are going for ungraded at the moment without the point score. We set due dates and they're always the same. So this is Tuesdays, so I set it for Tuesday at 7:30 PM, that's when it's due. And then I can add it to the relevant topic, so it goes in the right place. And then we can either assign it straight away or we can schedule it to go out on the right day at 7:30. Therefore, we know that staff don't need to be on their laptops at that time. They can schedule things when they want to, and it will just happen for them automatically. So you can now see on the teachers one that this English is now grey. but it's scheduled for February the 2nd at 7:30 a.m. You can also, if you've made a mistake or you want to add something, you can go back in and edit it and it will open it back up for you. In order to mark the work, you will go to grades. Well, there's several ways you can go to it, but this is one of the ways. So you will see all the children down the left-hand side. You will see all the tasks along the top. You will see which ones have been turned in. So we'll use English as our example. So if I click on that, it will open the English for me. And you can see that comment I wrote there, I can see already. Okay, so I've got one turned in. I click on the work that they have done, it opens in a new tab, and then I can see. Now if they'd uploaded something as well, it would all appear at the side. So if they'd taken a picture of something that they'd done as well, or a PDF, that would also appear there. So I can look at the work, I can see the comment there that says I'm struggling on question 2 with this work, so I could simply reply there. And we can also say, so say for example I was marking this piece of work, I could write great work on this. Next, I really enjoyed the fact that you used evidence from the text to support your answers. And then if you look through, obviously you can look through the whole work. So say, and then you give them, next time I would like you to focus on ensuring your book review is as persuasive as possible. Think about those persuasive devices we have talked about before. Check through your comment, and then you can just post that to them. That will then go straight to them, and then you click return, and that's what makes it visible to them, so they can then see their work and your comments. Simply then you just click out of it, and then you can see, if we went back to grades, that now has a tick because we've seen it and we've marked it. So if I then went back to the child and went to classwork and clicked on that English and clicked on the view assignment, again, they will see that the work has been marked, and you will see that there's the comment there. That appears. Okay, so that, and again, teachers have their waffle. They also have settings, because obviously the teachers are in charge of the settings, the children aren't. And that is pretty much a whistle-stop tour of Google Classrooms for St Francis. We are now going to take a look at what some of our pre-recorded sessions might look like, including our collective worships and our pre-recorded academic inputs. These range from our early years right up to our Key Stage 2.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This week, as we think about our high five values in action, we're going to be listening to the story of the parable of the sower. The parable of the sower. Jesus told us stories to help us understand. He talked of common people who fish. Let's be still and reflect for a moment. Picture in your mind the night sky full of stars. Think how many stars there must be. Too many to count. Think of the huge number of people there are in the whole world, many more than the stars. Think of the vast wide world and think of yourself. What can you do to make a difference in the world? Think of today. What will you do to make a difference to the world around you? Will you say a kind word to someone who is sad? Will you help someone to do something difficult? Will you take care of the earth's resources by recycling something? Will you cheer up the people around you with your smile? Will those you meet today find that the world is a brighter place because of you? Dear God, thank you for stories. A story can be like a seed. It can grow in our minds, helping us to think and feel differently. Let your good story of people living for each other, sharing with each other, caring for each other, let this good story grow and grow in me. Amen.
So, I want you to think, what do you treasure more than anything? Do you take it for granted, or do you really appreciate it? Take a moment to appreciate what you have. It might be a thing, it might be a person. And whilst you're thinking of that, we're going to pray a slightly different version of the Lord's Prayer together. I want you to pay particular attention to where and how we mention God's kingdom. Our Father, who is in heaven, your name is holy. May your kingdom come, your will be done on earth, in our school, in my home, in my life, just as it is in heaven. Give us what we need for today, our food, our shelter, and friends to share the journey. Forgive us the things we have done wrong, where we have been unkind and selfish, where we have not lived well. Help us to forgive those who have hurt us. Lead us on a path of goodness, where we can enjoy your kingdom. Deliver us from all that might keep us from you. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
As we begin our worship, shall we say and sign, in the name of the loving Father, in the name of the risen Son, in the name of the life-giving Spirit, in the name of the three in one. Amen. The Lord be with you, and also with you. So good morning everyone, and welcome again to our assembly. It's really good to be back with you as we begin a new term. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and are ready now to get back into school and all the fabulous learning that you're going to learn over these next few weeks. Shall we see what's in the suitcase? It's very exciting. I wonder what it could be. Oh, not quite what I was expecting, but here we go. So in the suitcase this morning we've got 1, 2, 3 kings. Can you see them? With their gold, frankincense and myrrh. I wonder why, when it's not Christmas anymore, why we've got 3 kings in the suitcase. Does anybody hazard a guess as to why that is? I wonder if anyone's guessed right. It's because today is what's called Epiphany. And Epiphany is when we remember the visit of the 3 wise men to Jesus in the stable. Now, Epiphany is a funny word, but it means a new revelation, a new understanding. I wonder what it was that the 3 wise men learnt that was new, that was an epiphany for them. An epiphany is a new understanding that changes the way we live our life.
Good morning, reception. Welcome to Tuesday's English Input. If you remember, our topic this week is all about food, glorious food. So, yesterday I read you this story called Ketchup on Your Cornflakes by the author and illustrator Nick Sharratt. It's quite a funny book, isn't it? And if you remember, I pointed out to you this piece of punctuation here. Can anybody remember what that's called? Yes, it's a question mark, isn't it? And we read it like this: ketchup on your cornflakes, so that the reader knows that we're asking a question. And so I want you to be listening to how I ask all of these questions as we go along. See if you can spot some more of these funny question marks as we go along. And then I want you to have a go at making up your own questions. You ready? Make sure you're answering as we go along. Do you like ketchup on your cornflakes? No. Do you like custard on your cornflakes? No. Do you like custard on your apple pie? Some of us do. Do you like ice cubes on your apple pie? Do you like ice cubes in your lemonade? I do. Keep it nice and cool. Do you like toothpaste in your lemonade? No.
Good morning, Year 1, and welcome to Maths on Friday. And today we are going on a shape hunt. I've really been looking forward to this topic. It's great fun. And today you're going to have the chance to go on a shape hunt yourselves. But before you do, we need to think about the shapes that you're going to be looking for, which is exciting. So you might see here that Lulu has been on a shape hunt herself, and she's found a few shapes that are on the table there. In fact, I've got a couple that are the same as hers to show you. So let's have a little look at the next slide and talk about some of the shapes first of all. So these are spheres. Let's say that word together. Spheres. I know it looks like a PH. It's PH that says, remember, teeth on lips. Ask your adult helper to check that you're saying that sound correctly. Ears, well done. Not no, with your teeth. Spheres. It's quite fun to say. It's like mouth gym. Anyway, spheres are circular. They are round. I've been on a shape hunt already, and I found this example of a sphere, a very well-loved ball from my house. So a sphere, and we might say that this is a smooth, curved face on the sphere. You might find some examples like balls in your house. You might find other things. These look like examples of balls, don't they? So spheres, they have no straight or flat faces or edges. They're completely curved and round. These
That's
are
on the mat. Really simple. The cat sat on the mat. So you could put a fronted adverbial in there that's quietly, the cat sat on the mat. So that quietly there, which is a fronted adverbial of manner, how, is telling us more about how the cat sat on the mat. So it's giving us more information. Now remember, the fronted adverbials go at the front of a sentence, and after the fronted adverbial we put a comma. So you would always know where they are. So fronted adverbial, comma, main clause. Okay? So you're going to include those. You can obviously include other things within. So if you want to use direct speech within your story, brilliant, but just make sure you're using it properly. So all the punctuation in the right place, new line for a new speaker every single time. I definitely want to see you using capital letters and full stops accurately all the way through, because I know you can all do it. So capital letters for definitely names, starts of sentences, full stops for the ends, unless you're using an exclamation mark or a question mark. So you might be asking a rhetorical question, but making sure you're using punctuation properly and effectively, and using paragraphs. So remember that when we're writing stories like this, it needs to be split into different paragraphs. Okay? Paragraphs, you start a new paragraph for a new idea. Okay? Something different that's happening. Usually it feels quite natural to start a new paragraph. It's not about a certain number of sentences. like some of you think. It's not like, oh, I've done 6 sentences, I need a new paragraph. No, okay? Whenever it's a new idea or they've moved on, so they're in a different place, yeah? New paragraph. And for every new paragraph, we miss a line and start on the next line. We are extremely proud of what we are able to offer as part of remote education at St Francis, but that does not mean that we are not constantly reviewing and adapting as we go. We are continuing to hold staff meetings to iron out issues, as well as having key staff attend different CPD events held by different professionals from all over the country. We have also supported our school community by loaning out devices to those families that needed them in order to fully access what we were offering. We are also prepared to help any families that need to with connectivity issues. We have also developed a section on our website providing further information about how remote education at St Francis works, as well as hints and tips on how best to use the platform. We are not only proud of our staff for how quickly they have adapted, but also the children and their families for taking this in their stride and continuing to log in each and every day, complete their learning and submit their work. Thank you for watching, and if you do have any questions about how remote education at St Francis works, then please do get in touch.